Hey, what up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ari Temkin of the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network, and today we're going to be talking about the Associated Press's report that came out on Thursday that the NFL is reducing its preseason down to 2 games. But first, thanks to my sponsor, betonline.ag. betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. Also, consider hitting that like or subscribe button because I post Cowboys videos all the time. Also, make sure to watch to the end of this video because I'm arguing that the Cowboys need to go all in. So make sure to watch until the end. On Thursday morning, a report came out from the Associated Press that the NFL is going to be reducing the preseason down from 4 games to 2, which really isn't much of a surprise. The NFL had already canceled the Hall of Fame game, the game that the Cowboys and Steelers were set to play on August 6th, and many figured that they would reduce the preseason to 2 games anyways. Because, well, they've already voted for 2021 to reduce the preseason to 2 games, and the preseason doesn't really matter at all, as we've seen. You know, it used to be that teams would play guys pretty consistent snaps, especially starters, in that 3rd preseason game. That was the one that was labeled as the dress rehearsal. But in recent NFL history, that's not the case anymore. In fact, some teams sit their players out for the entirety of the preseason. Meaningful players, and we've seen no significant drop-off between guys not playing any snaps in the preseason and how they play and perform in the regular season. So considering there is a risk that some of these guys could get hurt playing in the preseason, and there doesn't seem to be any correlation between playing preseason snaps and playing significantly well in the regular season, most teams have just decided against playing guys in the preseason. And even if they do play guys, starters, in the preseason, we're talking about games, the 2nd and 3rd preseason games. So all that this does is cut out that 1st and 4th game. They're trimming the fat. That's it. The 1st and 4th game don't even matter. It's just a cash grab for NFL owners anyways. Now, what does this mean for the Cowboys, a reduced preseason schedule? On one side, one of the major positives of this would be that the Cowboys have had a ton of secrecy when it comes to the development of their schemes within their new coaching staff. And this, I think, is the ultimate positive here. Right? I mean, there's organizations across the NFL that are consistent and have continuity, that teams are going to know how to prepare for them because this is what they've run and this is who they are. The Cowboys have a new coaching staff, and even though Kellen Moore returns as the offensive coordinator, it's going to be a different offense. It's going to be run differently, even if the plays are going to be similar. So this gives the Cowboys a strategic advantage. One, because as I stated in the video from earlier this week, without any media access to OTAs, watching practice and talking to players, there's really nothing to gauge from a schematic standpoint for the Cowboys. So when you think of the entire offseason training, which again normally is open to the media, which again normally then creates narratives about what they're working on throughout the offseason, the Cowboys have been basically working the entire offseason in complete secrecy on new schemes. And then who knows what training camp will look like from a media perspective, so there could be even more layers of secrecy because I would imagine the media is not going to have much access to practice or players because they're trying to protect the asset of the 2020 football season, and they don't want to compromise that by letting in people from the outside. So at the end of the day, the Cowboys might be at a more strategic advantage by having less preseason games than they are at a loss. This is all great news. I guess the only bad news about this is for me because I do the pre- and post-game show for the Cowboys, and I get paid per game. So there was going to be 5 preseason games, now there's 2. That's a drastic pay reduction for me, but clearly you don't care about that. And less preseason games means more actual football and less wasted time on 4th and 5th string players that aren't going to make the team. They're going to be insurance salesmen after the training camp session is over. So I told you to watch to the end because I think the Cowboys need to go all in. And there's reports that are surfacing about the Cowboys' interest in Jadeveon Clowney. Or maybe it's Jadeveon Clowney's interest in the Cowboys. Or maybe it's just Clowney trying to get signed by somebody because he's priced himself out of the market, and that's clear because nobody signed him yet. He's a talented young player that wants more money than people are willing to pay. Cowboys, I implore you. This roster is really good, but defensively, there are a lot of holes and a lot of question marks and a lot of hoping and praying in a lot of positions. Now, there's talent on defense, okay? There's talent at linebacker. There's talent in their front 4. There is talent. I don't want to diminish that. But if the Cowboys go out and sign Jadeveon Clowney or sign Everson Griffen or sign Logan Ryan or, as I mentioned in the video from earlier this week, sign Griffen and Logan Ryan, or, what if they went all in and signed Jadeveon Clowney and gave an offer to the Jets that they couldn't refuse on Jamal Adams. Now, I know you're sitting there and saying, we've been on this road before, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. I'm not telling you what's going to happen, I'm telling you what I think should happen. And this is what I've been saying for a long time now. It has been 3 decades. Do something, Cowboys, that puts you over the top. This defense is not good, it's average to perhaps below average at most positions. Now, you don't need to be great on offense and defense, but the thing is the Cowboys are great on offense and they could be good to above good on defense for this team to really give it what it needs to win a Super Bowl. And that's what this is all about. This is all about a team that in the early part of this 2000s was spending like crazy, making bad trades and just not in a good situation. So they overcorrected in the last decade, the 2010s. They overcorrected. They didn't spend any money or free agency. They barely made trades and they committed everything to the draft. And that's a much better move than what they were in the early 2000s. But they overcorrected. Go back more to the middle and do something now, Cowboys, that puts you over the top because the opportunity is presenting itself. The opportunity is presenting itself for this organization to make moves that tell its fan base, we're not okay with just being okay. We need to go all in. There's a bevy of players out there available for the Cowboys that fulfill needs that they need to fortify. Maybe you can't trade for Jamal Adams. I want them to. I think the Cowboys have the arsenal of draft picks in order to do it and feel good about it. But even if they don't want to do it, make a play to sign a free agent cornerback like Logan Ryan. I don't care that he's a slot corner. He's still better than any corner on this roster. Go make a play for Everson Griffen and Jadeveon Clowney. Do it, Cowboys. Stop sitting in your hands. It's been 3 decades. This organization and these fans are sick and tired of being in the same category as the Redskins and Lions, as the 3 teams in the NFC that have not been to the NFC title in 3 decades. Change your fortunes, Cowboys. Go all in.